Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Mr. Dean Kowalt, and in today's lecture, I am going to be talking about density. It's a pretty easy topic. This is probably going to be a short video, but I wanted to explain a little bit. So, density is basically how much matter you have in a given amount of space. So, the more dense you are, the more matter you have in a smaller space. So, the more matter you have in a smaller space, the more dense. The less matter you have in that space, the less dense you are going to be, right? So, with regard to density, you need to start with the equation of density. That's going to be useful, especially if you want to calculate density. So density, if we understand the definition, it's the amount of stuff or matter per given amount of volume or given amount of space, right? So So density would equal the amount of stuff we have, and that's going to be measured in mass. Last time we talked about the difference between mass and weight. So we're talking about We're talking about the stuff that's in something. So that's going to be mass. So it's going to be mass, and that's in a given area or space or volume. So we're going to divide that into, so it's mass per given space. So that's going to be volume. Oops. I messed up in my spelling. So volume and mass is normally done in grams. It could be kilograms as well. Volume is going to be either in milliliters or liters. It could be liters as well. Or it could be centimeters cubed or meters cubed. I've seen meters cubed as well. So we normally use milliliters or liters when we're talking about the density of a liquid, right? But we usually have like some length squared, either centimeter squared, meter squared, something like that, or cubed. I keep saying squared, cubed. Uh, we're using length cubed for solids usually. So if it's a solid and you're looking at the density of a solid, it's probably going to be grams per centimeter cubed. If you're looking at the density of a liquid, it's usually going to be grams per milliliter. So that's the equation of density. So if you know the mass of a particular object or substance and you know the volume, you can divide the two and you can get the answer. So if we do an example, so if I know that a certain block, let's say aluminum, I have an aluminum block, and I know that the mass, let's say the mass is, let's say it's 200, let's say it's 270 grams, okay? And I measure the volume. So this is your mass. And let's say the volume I say is 10 centimeters cubed. So that's your volume. So then what I would do is I would plug it in my equation. It's the amount of mass per volume or divide by volume. So I would then put 270 grams, divide that by 10 centimeters, and you always keep the units. Don't drop units when you've got measurements. You always put the units in. And then when you divide, you get let's make this 100 so that it's accurate. So I have a 100 centimeter cube block, and we're gonna do 100. So if I divide this by 100, then I get 2.70 grams per centimeter cubed. So this would then be the density of the aluminum block. And if you go look it up in the Merck Index or the CRC Handbook of Chemistry and Physics, you'll look it up and you'll find that it's 2.70 grams per centimeter cubed. And again, centimeter cubed because we're dealing with a solid block, not a liquid. So I hope that that's clear. In the next video, we're going to talk more about density, but we're going to talk about it in terms of intensive properties versus extensive properties. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.